Hernandez. She is an officer in charge of the Passport and Immigration Department. And I also want to make a quick note that in just a few, we'll also be joined by a third person. And we'll also reveal that in just a moment as well. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you guys on set with us.
Thank you.
Now, I want to start off by saying, Bestie, you are such a social media presence right now. A lot of people are talking about you on Belize Facebook, right?
She's a trending topic, girl. We have to say the Bestie Army is Sharangana Belize. We call them the Bestie Army.
Oh, the Bestie Army.
It's the Army Bestie.
Now, we are grateful that you've taken the time to come and share a bit of your story and even highlight your personality. I really appreciate that. But I want to take a step back a little bit and talk about where your social media presence began in the first place. How did you, put yourself out there on social media and share yourself with us as Bestie, as our Bestie?
Well, it all depends because back in 2018, 2016, back before I even joined church, I was a person who, 2018, I decided to just become a Christian, so I left everything behind. Wow. But if we go back to 2016, 2017, those were the days when I was like, exploring my sexuality. And makeup and feminine clothes were always very, very attractive. Yes, I did understand that it was a cross to bear. Like, I do understand that it's a desire of the flesh. So I try to seek through like God guidance, spirituality. And I did join church for like approximately 7 to 8 years. But then eventually I came to that conclusion that, it's not the full happiness. Like, it is, I do feel the fear of God and I do understand that what I'm doing may not be seen appropriate to some people, but as long as I can feel that void that being yourself can feel, that little happiness that only you can understand when you're experiencing that's what makes Bestie.
Yeah.
Do you still find yourself intersecting with the church today?
Well, at this point, I do support like my stepmom. There's a mother that adopted me, so I consider her mom. She's a pastor. She still prays for me. And Norma Garcia, she's a Pentecostal Church of God pastor. She's still behind me, so I still support the church. I don't visit to respect to them because I don't feel like I would be appropriate just to reach there to provoke,
Yeah.
So
and that's the reason why I asked, because I found it interesting. I was the one who narrated the story that you shared with us, and I found it interesting, your background, your faith background and your church background, and simply because it's almost like two separate worlds, at least in Belize, right? But I found it interesting that you have such a solid foundation in the church. In fact, what you shared, and perhaps you can speak a bit more on it, is that when you were going through one of your most difficult seasons of homelessness, I would describe it, that it was in the church you found refuge.
Yeah, because my parents, they weren't church people. They were like really mundane, as you can say. So I decided to just get closer with the church people, and they allowed me to stay there, and I just got closer to them, and they just distanced myself from family issues and stuff like that. So I got closer to them, and there's where I built that relationship to, that faith. That if God has placed the foundation, you just have to place the feet and walk.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the possibilities are endless as long as you have that motive to I'm gonna get there eventually, not today, not tomorrow, but I know that one day I'm gonna make it, sister.
And
I'm gonna make it. Come on.
Yeah, we just love your energy.
Yeah, I do too. It's perfect for early mornings, like, open your eyes. But I still want to go back to the point where you grew your social media presence to now where many people here in Belize, no one recognized you by name and by face. How did you do that? How did you go about using your platform to build your own community?
Well, first of all, I was going through a little breakup, so you consider the little relationship breakup depression.
Yeah.
So during that little period of moment last year, I just decided to I shaved my head. In that little moment of, I tired everything, I just want a new reset.
Yeah.
I shaved my head, and from here, 1 year from now, it was just last year November to this November, I should be fully different, grown, mature. And I fulfill my purpose. That's where I started making TikTok videos. Quick 10 minutes, quick 10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds, but a quick laugh. With a purpose, with a motive. Not just post a video because I want to look cute or, no. I want to, end with a bang.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think that
that's what you're seeing on screen there, some of those videos?
Your approach in terms of being very open and out there and even approachable on social media, that it has perhaps broken barriers for you where culturally, just generally in Belize, we're not necessarily accepting to certain lifestyles. Do you believe that your social media approach has broken barriers for you and actually garnered support?
For me, and not for only me, but for my fellow members of my community. When I mean that, because before I didn't have the opportunity or the guts to like walk on the street with a dress, but once I just took Bestie mode and, you know, like personality plus the charisma plus the laughing with the people, it just became easy.
Yeah.
Because it's just what's not there to like about someone who can make you laugh 24/7.
Yeah.
So it allowed you to show a different side of yourself that perhaps you wouldn't have been able to introduce if it was just in person on the street conversation.
People normally say, oh, that's a trans, or that's a man, or but they wouldn't see the essence of the person.
And you did that on social media.
I think I kind of figured out how to crack the code. They didn't saw the dress, but some people do, but I mean, who cares? I mean, and they saw the essence, they saw the...
Well, I'm really happy that we've been able to set the background to who you were in terms of personality and have people understand a little bit about your journey on social media leading up to now being this public presence, right? But where you revealed a little bit later on was that you also had another part of your story that you were navigating, and that was your legal status in the country. Tell us a little bit about what that journey has been like and how you found yourself to this point now of having a naturalized, legalized status.
Well, when it comes to that purpose in my life, I always knew that eventually it's going to be a big major issue. As an immigrant, we all know that eventually, if you're going to Standard 6, Standard 4, first farm, third farm, and you know that you don't have a social eventually when that's over, when that school term is over, 4th term or 6th term, and you have to find a job, you know that you're going to crash into a wall, that there's not going to be any more opportunities, either like selling veggies or doing construction worker jobs, you know, jobs that are just like catch and kills.
Yeah, so we also have here with us on set Miss Margaret Kellerman Hernandez. She is the officer in charge of the Passport and Immigration Department. And I want to quickly get Ms. Hernandez in the conversation to speak about how that facilitation looked like in supporting persons like Melvin to get their legal status.
And then what did you think when you heard the story?
When I saw actually his video, it was very touching to many of us. Very touching, because as a ministry, as a department, that was our goal, to legalize, to have person have a status and be able to do more things that they want to in Belize. For example, like you said, after high school or sixth form and you need to go to get a job, it's hard if you can't present a social security card, because then your contributions will be affected. You can't even contribute. You can't work legally then, right? So when we saw his story, it was very touching, and it made us feel so good, so proud of, you know, the work we have put in as a ministry for these persons in Amnesty 2022. You might know that we had up to 13,000 plus persons, which include dependents, for applications, and that program has ended, whereby each application has been dealt with, whereby Bestie application is one of them. And when we saw him and how that made him feel, knowing now what is his status, and he has a legal status in Belize, you know, we're very proud of all the work the team from the immigration department put in.
Do you get the opportunity to hear a lot of stories like this?
Oh, we do. When we did outreaches as well, we had persons cry in front of us. We had persons don't know what to do, what to say when we are reviewing their applications, and when the team has to make a decision on applications that we got. You know, it made people really, really grateful and appreciative of all the work that we did in Amnesty 2022.
You also highlighted that story on your live, which really touched a lot of us, and I see that it still brings about a lot of emotions for you even now. What do you feel now?
I feel grateful because it doesn't only impact me, it was not only myself. I had a little brother, I do have a little brother who has 2 kids. So he wasn't able to provide for those 2 kids until last year that he was able to get his social. For all this time he was making catch and kill jobs for $30 a day for years. $20 a day, $25 a day. Why? Because he doesn't have a social.
Yeah. Were there any persons who facilitated this process for you that you can specifically remember who allowed you to be able to have this status?
Ms. Darlene, like I mentioned, Ms. Darlene Bestie is one of the major person who kept motivating me and pushing me, like, you know what, you're gonna get it. Get this document, get this, don't. But it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years, my application doesn't move from process. You need to understand it's not only you, it's 13,000 people. But just be patient. I'm really behind your application. Yeah. And she did.
It really takes people like that, I think, to keep you remembering, you know, that there are people around you that care about you. Hearing your story has been one that moved me personally as well.
And it's what I found captivating about the story. It's that we always hear about these things, but nobody has ever come forward, at least this viral, to say this was my experience and this was my challenges. And so when you spoke, you didn't only speak for yourself, you spoke for thousands of people out there that are going through the same thing. It was so relatable when you said that, and the chance up on the job a lot of times when they $40 for clean my entire house, for example. But you helped us understand that sometimes as an illegal immigrant, if you would, you have to do it. You have to get the job, and you have to take the 40 because who else you're going to make one of the ends, right?
There are plenty of disadvantages. Like you have in front of you, you can become a thief. You can become this. Society literally shows all the possibilities. It's up to the strongest one of like the person who really wants to make it out of there to become like a light or to become successful.
Okay, so
well, we have a special guest this morning that we are now inviting on set with us. This person has been a key role in your life, who assisted you in this process. You speak of Darlene Bestie.
Yes.
And she now joins us on set.
I'll make her cry, girl. Don't cry.
Oh, you makeup. Girl. You're so pretty.
When has been the last time you guys have seen each other? You've never met her?
The 2020.
Only the application when, women had an amnesty center open in Corozal, and I was one of the registration clerks, and that's where I met Bestie.
That was the first and last time. Then only like through messages and through text.
Okay.
Wow.
And calls and video calls.
What does this relationship mean to you now?
Oh,
you're meeting each other for the first time. Well,
she's
for the
a
second
bestie.
time.
She's a best friend. Like she's really like
she's a part of the Bestie army.
No. She's a part of my best friend. Totally different. Another level.
And Darlene, for you, what does it mean to you to be able to change a life in this way? I mean, your name has been all over social media as well.
For me, it's like, you know, at some point in your life, you're like, you're doing your job, but then it's like, sometimes you don't have that mentality that you're changing people's life until it's exposed out there and how people feel that what you're doing to them. So it's like, it feels good, and then people around me that had motivated me too, I think I'm making them proud too.
Yeah. And for you, how long have you been engaged in this type of work?
Okay, since 2022, my first engaging work like that was with Amnesty.
Okay, and I would imagine you yourself, you've probably sat down with a lot of people that could relate to the story that was shared.
Yes, especially when we used to go on hubs. You see people from 5 o'clock in the morning on the centers. They're trying to getting, prepare what. Sometimes you see couples, the old couples. Yeah. They're in front of you explaining their whole life. They have that encouragement to come and some of them 30 years they don't have no, and then it's touching, but at the same time you can react with them because they come to you for a solution.
Yeah. You were talking moments ago, Bestie, about what the experience is like for undocumented persons when it comes to working, the employment that you would have to settle for. You also highlighted that you had graduated from school. You are educated, but you have not been able to properly utilize that because of your status. What has been some of the observations you have made, not only from your personal experience, but others, the type of work that you would have to settle for and the payment that you would receive?
I've seen old people selling, like planting chips. I've seen people selling bread. I've seen people selling like shave ice on the streets just to carry a little piece of $20 to their homes. I've seen people with 6 to 7 kids having to sell on the streets, like house to house, because they're unable to get a job. Or the income is not enough, or the woman have to, you know, do a little side hustle on the side, like wash someone's clothes or go and clean someone else's houses because the man jobs, the money is not enough. The income is short. That's major that you can see in Curacao, especially in Curacao. A lot of people who sell veggies. A lot of people who sell stuff on the streets. Like, it's better to sell than to actually get an actual job, because selling will actually give you more income than if you work for someone in their house or in their yard or clean someone's yard.
Yeah.
So they prefer to just sell whatever they can sell: meat, chickens, eggs, whatever people can sell in those villages, they will sell.
And for you, you went through your own journey of.
Tell
us a bit about tell us a bit about all that you sold out there.
Well, I met Miss Olga back in like the COVID times. Miss Olga Gonzalez. She's a very Christian lady. I met her. She told me, "Don't you want to sell veggies?" I'm like, I just finished my girl. You know when
you are an educated woman, girl.
You do the little impact of society or like social life that just impacts. Like, I really have to do that. You know, it was like it really shocked. Like, a lot of people stopped talking to me after I started selling on the streets. Like, people just disappeared from my life. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Like, everybody just, like, I could have felt the rejection, the judgment because I'm pushing a cart. But people would laugh, but they would never push with me, or they would never buy. So I just kept, and who has to go has to go, and that's what I did. I started with $75, and I bought 5 pounds of tomato, 5 pounds of potato, 5 pounds of onion, 5 pounds of cucumber, everything, whatever I could. Then I spent it over. Then on Monday I went to the farmers market, and with that money I bought for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Then the following Friday I bought for 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then I went on. In a couple of 3 months, I was investing $3,000. Not lying. Then I built a stall in Curacao that I think everybody knows. I went from selling for someone to having 3 tricycles on the streets and having 2 vegetable stalls.
Wow.
In 2-3 years.
Wow.
And then a stall.
And I was selling for little shops as well, the wholesale. A lot of shops.
And a stall as well, you're saying. Does that stall still
I used to work
exist?
from 3 o'clock in the morning to 8 to 10 p.m. in the night.
Yeah.
Every day.
So it's really a story of resilience, right?
You have to like it. You have to love what you're doing. And I used to love selling veggies. I used to love going with my little tricycle on top of College Road Hill, even if it's heavy. But I know once I'm up there, the people love me, so the tricycle will just disappear on its own.
Wow.
Was there ever a point in this journey that you can remember that was the hardest for you? That when you look back now, you just don't want to relive that?
I got robbed. I got robbed coming down, and I had $1,200 in my pocket. And they were waiting for me, and they just grabbed me on my neck, and they just pushed me in the bush, and they just started beating me. And they like rumbled the tricycle, and they just went away the money. And I ended up like bruised, like on the hospital. I will never forget that. That was very scary.
What about your journey, your academic journey as an undocumented immigrant?
Okay, when it comes to the academic journey, it is very, I don't really understand why the system would charge a $1,000 non-Belizean fee for a student to study in Escuela Mexico or in CCC would be even higher. Because I can talk about my experience. I wasn't going to go to First Farm to Fourth Farm. I remember my mom, the day before the summer was ending for Escuela Mexico, this summer, you have to register for summer, then you register for First Farm. But I didn't go to summer after Standard 6. So I thought I wasn't going to go to First Farm. The day before First Farm opened, my mom took me and she opened and she paid the $1,000 and I was able to enter school.
Which I imagine would have been a lot for her at that time,
Yes,
$1,000. And so you paid the $1,000 and then you entered
plus
school.
The tuition fee, which is like $1,600, you can see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yearly.
Do you think that these restrictions and these red tapes is a part of the reason why a lot of undocumented immigrants perhaps stop at Standard 6? And don't go into high school.
Yeah, because if you notice, a majority of the parents that do really want their kids to have an education, but they cannot afford it. The kids are very smart.
Yeah.
I was very smart. Every teacher, I was like top A student. Every primary school teacher could tell you. So when I went through like that class in sixth form that I couldn't find a job, that was very depressing. Like I have cuts in my hands, I'm not lying to you, on my legs, where I really just hated my life.
Yeah, not show too much leg now.
No.
Life
No. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, for you to understand, back in those days, there was like really like, the mental struggle was really there as well.
Yeah. But you know, the reality is that wasn't that long ago either. It probably feels like a long time though.
2024, stop selling witches, so.
2024 was literally less than 2 years ago.
But it was because they were able to provide us the social that was valid for 6 months. So I had to stop selling witches and I had to get a job. Then I managed to get my friend, she's the manager of a call center. She, you know what, I'm going to help you. Ms. Nirka Vasquez, she was the one who helped me. She signed the paper for me. And I was able to apply for my first social. Then every 6 months I would renew it because I know that I had that hope that I will get it.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting. I did not know that that was a thing where you could get like a temporary, if you would, social, because I think a lot of us take it for granted when we get a social security card that says the expiring date is none, right? Tell us a bit about that temporary social security card and why that initiative exists.
Well, we realized, and it's only real, that persons have to keep on living, supporting themselves, and finance their life. So the social security card that was being issued to applicants for amnesty was a way to have them work legally, because it's known that they have to do some work at some point. So to allow them to work and feel comfortable working, surviving, there was this time that the social security card was being issued, and it had an expiry date, whereby by that time we must have done making decisions on applicants. So that social security card, like he's explaining, allowed them to get a job, get a real job, contribute to social security. And when that was expired by that time, most of them would have had a decision made on their application by then. But it was put in place to allow them to work.
What did you feel? What did it make you feel when you heard the story, when you heard Melvin's story online?
I think not only Melvin's story, but also like every application vetted. I think every application has a story. So you have to, like, clearly what you're seeing on the vision of the applicant, you have to make sure the approver sees and read they have the same mentality that you're getting on the application. So it's like, and then in amnesty, they may have a lot of stories on those applications, and they're very touching.
It's hard to not be attached to some of the applicants, I believe, as well.
Melvin, I'd like for you to share, as we sort of wrap up the conversation, a bit about the world of possibilities that receiving your documents have opened for you.
There have been a world of possibilities. I remember the day when she called me, it's been approved. I cried. The happiness, the overwhelming joy that you feel once you have that document in your hand, it's like if it's like a long dream. That's all I've ever hoped for in my life. I don't want kids, I don't want a wife, I don't want nothing. I don't want a house, I just want my social. I just want to be able to work. I want to be able to be like, that vision that you have in your mind, you just want to be able to walk in that vision. I mean, at the end of the day, I can work 2 jobs. I have 2 good paying jobs, thanks to God. I'm able to, if my mom needs anything and I can, lend me $100, lend me $200, I don't have to, I don't have there is money there that, I can touch without even having to worry that I'm short. There's many possibilities when it comes to now having my papers. I can travel. I went to Zone for the first time. I've never been to Chetumal in 27 years of my life. And I live right beside the border. That sucks. And you don't want to go through the back because you're scared. What if they catch you?
Yes. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you this only because I see different commenters in the comment section asking, how do we refer to you? What is your preferred gender?
Okay. So when it comes to that, I know that I am a man. Let's put that out there to the world. I am Bestie. He's a man. I was a God-fearing man that used to go to church. I used to preach I used to preach the gospel. So I know that whatever I'm going through, I'm just walking through the flesh. You can say desires of the flesh, and there's desires of the spirit. So I know exactly where I stand, and I know exactly my battle. Eventually, when God is ready to do whatever He has to do with me, He's free to do with my soul and my spirit whatever He wants. For the moment, I am walking in the desires of the flesh, for my own will and desire. So when people tell me, oh, you're not a woman, you're not trans, of course not. I am a vessel designed by God. God knows exactly what He's doing in His perfect timing.
So do you it doesn't matter if
To
they
me,
call
it
you
doesn't
a
matter. I'm
him
not
or
here to
her?
impose.
Okay.
I'm not here to impose. Like, I mean, being gay or being trans is not, you have to forcefully accept. I'm sorry. That acceptance is gained by your personality, by your attributes, by your attitude, by the way you portray yourself to society. Tú te vas a respetar, everybody te va a respetar.
It's not about imposing.
It's not about imposing.
Or tell people this is the way you're
No.
supposed to and not.
I'm a machine, no. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I was still stand up when I use the bathroom. Sorry.
You earlier.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Earlier, you gave us details. You told us how many people have been legalized, status have been legalized through this program. Can you remind us one more time of that number and also give us a better idea of what options are available, if any at all, for people right now that perhaps want to legalize their status?
Well, like I said, the numbers that came in for Amnesty 2022 was over 13,000 persons, which includes dependents, a parent with maybe 2, 3, 4, or 5. Some people had 10 children already. But that gave them the status, once their application was recommended, of being a permanent resident, which Melvin is now a permanent resident. In the longer run, after 5 years of being a permanent resident, you can then apply to become a citizen of Belize. This is what we did with Amnesty, and the same process is what persons go through who want to apply for permanent resident. The Amnesty program was mainly for persons who did not have a status, who were here 20, 30 years without a status, and could have, they had to prove what under the criteria they applied for. Then they were recommended, their application was recommended. That is what we do at the Nationality and Passport Department. Therefore, Amnesty 22 was a part of our day-to-day work that we do, which is permanent resident applications, which leads, like I say, after 5 years, he can then apply to become a citizen of Belize and hold a Belize passport. So that is the work we do, and that leads to, that's the path to citizenship.
Right.
What we're
So
discussing.
there is an established path.
Of
the
course.
Amnesty program simply kind of expedited that
Yeah,
process
the Amnesty
under a
program had criterias, 8
Right.
criterias under which persons
Correct.
were able to apply, and the criterias they met allowed them to be recommended and become a permanent resident of Belize.
No, Melvin, just lastly from you, share with us what life is like for you living, as you described it to us a couple weeks back, as a trans in Belize. And what would be your advice to others out there?
I mean, at the end of the day, I've said my story. I've been to church. I've tried to change. I did try to change. I did have a woman. I did try to, to do the right thing, and it came naturally from my heart. I wasn't forced to do it. But then eventually you meet that wall where, like, you're not fully happy, and eventually you just explore that little, it's like a little needle inside of you that once you just let it out, it just flows naturally. And to me, there's a lot of hate, but it's only on social media. Let's be for real. The hate is only on social media.
You don't experience it in
real
person,
life,
in real
no.
life?
In real life, the men don't even care. Like, they wouldn't, because I'm very open when it comes to me, I'm very open. Anyone, is there any man out there who like, psst, psst, hey, I'm a man, instant. Then if they continue, it's up to them. But I served my purpose and I explained my situation.
Yes.
And if they continue, it's up to them. But at the end of the day, I don't really receive any, I'm not disrespecting anyone out there, so there's no need for me to be disrespected.
So what's your advice?
Your final thoughts.
Well, just, if you do feel like you're there, go for it. But if you're not there yet, don't go for it, because then it can lead you to a type of dangers that you never know what can happen as well. Because it can be very dangerous as well, according to the area where you live in Belize.
Well, we do have to wrap up this conversation. We want to say thank you so much. I want to close off with your signature. I think you have like this signature that you use in your videos. It's like a type thing. So you can send us off, and then when we come back, actually, I want to include a motivational quote before we go, before you send us off. This morning's motivational quote goes like this: "There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest." That comes from Ellie Weasel. Melvin, send us off. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the next generation of Pee Wee basketball athletes, but I'll take it over to Melvin.
Anyways, guys, so besties, time for the break. Bye.